Let's give it a minute. Make sure we're live. Make sure we're live. Let's give it a minute. Make sure we're live on YouTube. Make sure we're live on Facebook. Let's give it a minute. We're going to jump right into this. All right. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook today. I'm speaking to my fathers, specifically fathers who don't understand something specific, but you need to. As a father of 4 adult children, there are some things that I've learned along the way, picked up in and through my experience as a father. And today it was on my heart to share one of the lessons that I learned as a father. And so I entitled this one, What Fathers Don't Understand, but Need to. Many times as fathers, we can put a lot of weight on ourselves. We can often struggle with if we're being a good father, right? Whatever a good father is. If we're being too hard of a father, too soft, too soft of a father. Are we being too lenient? Are we being too restrictive? As a father, many times we're caught up in our heads, constantly struggling, constantly wrestling internally with the kind of father, the kind of man, the kind of leader that we're being in the home, especially if and when our children are making decisions that we don't agree with or are detrimental or are causing conflicts within the home or within their own personal lives. And so today, I want to share one insight, one very interesting fact that is universally applicable when it comes to our children, specifically our teenagers. As children, babies, infants, newborns, they come with their own set of challenges. But as they become teenagers and young adults, then, as we say, there's levels to this. So the complexity increases, the challenge increases, the fears, the worries, the concerns. As a father, they elevate. And so today, I want to share with you, if you are a father who has teenagers, young adults, and you're questioning, you're wrestling, you're struggling within yourself, am I being a good father? Have I taught them enough of the life lessons that I learned? Have I instilled the morals, the values, the belief systems? Have I given them tools? Have I made a way for them to succeed? Many times, as men, as fathers, we are putting so much weight, so much pressure on ourselves to ensure that our children are successful. We often want them to do better than we did, 10 times better. We want them to have a better life, a better quality of life than we had. And so, what I wanted to share with you when it comes to the weight, the pressure that we put on ourselves is that oftentimes there is a misunderstanding of distance, a misunderstanding of distance. As your child, like mine, right? Again, I have 4 adult children. By God's grace and mercy, I've lived to see them all, become young adults and start life and begin to do life. And I'm so grateful for that. And still, as a father, as a man of faith, as a man of prayer, I still struggle. I still wrestle. I still question. I still fear. I still have great concerns within me. Did I do enough? Am I doing enough? And when the distance started, it really kicked in. And that's where I want to meet you guys today. I want to share this quote that I got from my mindset coach many, many years ago. that has helped me over the years to return to a centered space, a calm, a peace. It's helped me to regulate myself emotionally. It's helped me as a father to journey through fatherhood more effectively. And I wanted to pass that on with a little insight. And so, this distancing, meaning they tend to not want to be around you as much. Your teenagers don't come to you for advice as much. They don't come to you for problem solving as much. And me being a teacher, right, in the faith, me being someone who loves to give advice, who loves to provide solutions, who loves to give information, who loves to equip and to empower people to succeed. Well, I want that no more. And like there's no place that I want that more, that I desire that more than with my own kids, right? And so it was really difficult for me as they began to distance themselves. And I began to oftentimes take it personally. Like, man, how come they don't want to kick it with dad no more? How come they don't want to hang around, dad no more? How come they don't want to be in the house no more, or, as much, or they don't want to do certain things? And believe me, I've got the world's greatest children. I have no complaints whatsoever when it comes to my children. God has blessed me so much with some just amazing children, and it has been an awesome, and it continues to be a pleasure to lead and to just be a part of their formation and to be a part of their lives in general. And so when they began to distance themselves and not really hang around as much, ask me as much, come to me for any advice, I began to kind of from afar begin to watch them make decisions on their own. And I'd be like, man, they don't ask me nothing. Like, man, they don't come to me for nothing. And I've had some trusted voices in my life that has helped me to understand. And this is just like a side note. They've helped me to understand really that I've done a pretty good job. I don't say that, right? But my children have said it, my wife has said it, trusted voices have said it. Hey, Travell, you're being a good father, you're present, you've been there from day one, you've never been absent, you've never not provided, like all of the checklists, right, that we kind of go down as a father. So I understand that I've done my very best, but sometimes as men, doing our very best still isn't good enough, right? We still think that there's more for us to do, more for us to provide, more for us to give. And so when they began to distance themselves, I began to question, like, yo, man, no, they ain't coming to dad for this, they don't come to dad for that. I'm like, yo, like, do they even need me anymore? And here's what I want to share with you. As a teenager, as a young adult, there are two things that are on their minds: independence and identity. Is just a stage of life, it's just a stage of development. It's where they are. They want to launch out on their own because they want to begin to establish a sense of identity. They're asking the question, whether they can articulate it or not, whether they're questioning it verbally or not, whether they're acknowledging it or not. The questions in their heart, most, the question going through their minds most: who am I? Why am I? What am I? Where am I going? What am I going to do with my life? How is this all going to work? What's the purpose of life? That's consuming them. And when that begins to consume them socially, economically, emotionally, physically to some degree, when that begins to overtake their lives, that becomes blinders. They're not thinking, how's dad feeling about this? How's mom feeling about this? All they know is, I need to establish an identity. I need to establish my self, my avatar, my character. I need to create some independence because I see mom living well. I see dad doing his thing. Well, what about me? Right? And so there is this shift from always coming to mom, always coming to dad, depending in their minds, depending on us, right? What they may still be depending on us to some degree, right? They're still living with us, or we're maybe still paying the mortgage, or we're still buying certain things for them, but maybe they're paying their own cell phone bill. Maybe they're they bought a car and they're paying a car note and car insurance. And so they're starting to do these little things in like increments. But the distancing that we're feeling emotionally as fathers, as men, we shouldn't take that personally. And that's what we don't understand. We all we know is no one sent us the memo that there's a shift happening within them biologically. Like within them there's a shift happening chemically in their brain, cognitively shifting in their minds, in their hearts, in their whole nervous system. I need to establish myself. So they're looking for identity and they're looking for independence, and that often does not include us. Why is this good news? Why do I share this? I share this because you shouldn't take it personally. You shouldn't indict yourself. This is not an indictment on you. This is not a ding on you, dad. This isn't some judgment on you, dad. This is them developing. This is not you doing a bad job. Let me tell this quick story and share this quote, and then I'm gonna get off here. The other day, I was in a poker tournament. I don't know. Many of you guys know that I play poker, and I got into poker because of the tournaments that I used to watch on ESPN. The World Series of Poker happens out in Las Vegas every year. Thousands of poker players come out every year, and they get into this huge tournament, and it's just an amazing test of endurance and math and skill and aggression, and I just it's just a world that I'm a part of. And so I was out on a poker tournament the other day. And if you know anything about poker tournaments, as you progress, which was a good thing because I was progressing deeper and deeper into the levels of the tournament, they begin to move your tables. They come around with these little cards and they say, okay, well, you are currently seat whatever. We're going to move you to this other seat. So that happened. And when they moved me, stick with me. It's going to all make sense in just a moment. When when they moved me to this other seat, they moved me next to a guy who had a really bad attitude for whatever reason. And there was this other guy that was to my right, a couple chairs down. He was super playful, fun, loving, just, jolly guy, right? He wants to laugh and talk with everybody. And so he was telling me about this documentary on, I want to say, was it the Discovery Channel or Hulu, one of the channels. And it was a Morgan Freeman documentary. And the guy shared it with me. He said, "Hey, and maybe he was sharing it because I was black. I don't know. The guy was white, so I don't know. Maybe he was sharing it just as a point of connection because Morgan Freeman's black. I'm black. Who knows? I don't know." But he began to share about this documentary with me, and as he began to share, the guy to the left of me with the bad attitude, because you could tell it was all over his face. It was his whole body, his whole demeanor. It was just like all bad, right? And like we come to play poker, so the assumption is we're in this tournament. It's enjoyable. It's supposed to be a good time. So I already looked at him and was just like, I don't know what's going on with this cat, right? So as my man was telling me about Morgan Freeman and this documentary, the guy to my left with the bad attitude, he was like, "Well, are you sure it was Morgan Freeman? Are you sure it wasn't Lawrence Fishburne?" And the guy to my left was a black guy. So the first thing that went through my mind was, oh my God, is this black guy trying to check this white guy in the context of like getting the names wrong? You know how sometimes there's this stigma of like how black folks, we all look the same. And I was thinking to myself in real time, like, is this black dude trying to check this white dude because the white dude has said that it was Morgan Freeman, but it was really, Lawrence Fishburne, because we all look alike, right? And come to find out, the white dude checked him right back. He was like, dude, I know the difference between Morgan Freeman and Lawrence Fishburne. They're two of my favorite actors. And then he made a list of other actors that he enjoys. He was making the point without saying it. He was saying it without saying it. I know who I'm talking about. This isn't about a black thing or a white thing. I'm just sharing information about this documentary. But the black guy was just getting on his case. And then he was like, well, you better check your facts. You better check your facts. And I already knew about the documentary. I knew it was Morgan Freeman. So I was vibing with my boy, but the black guy had an issue. Why do I share that story? I share that story because a few minutes later, the black guy got more irritated, pushed his chips in on a lousy hand, busted out the tournament, jumped up out the chair real fast, and just stormed off. He had, if you know anything about poker, he had 10 big blinds left. He had a huge stack, but he just pushed all his chips in on just a bum hand, and lost all his chips and lost his buy-in to the tournament and stormed off. Now, human nature is I began to judge him in my mind. Oh, dude, you came to a poker tournament. You're supposed to have fun. That's number one. Number two, you're just so impatient. You just got up and just stormed off. Right. Number two. Number three, I was like, oh, he let this other guy get under his skin, or that exchange really got him all worked up. Number three, I'm going through all of these different judgments. Stick with me. All of these different judgments about why the black dude pushed all his chips in, busted out, and left. Do I really know why he was upset? No. Do I really know why he pushed all his chips to the middle? No. Do I know why he was trying to check the white guy about the Morgan Freeman, Lawrence Fishburne? No. Stick with me. I didn't know anything. All I know is that I don't know why he was in that mood. Looking back in hindsight, dude could have got a phone call that somebody was in the hospital. For all I know, dude could have got a text message on his phone with some really bad news. He could have been scrolling through social media and saw a news story that broke his heart. I have no idea what made that man get upset and storm off, and in my estimation, throw away his money. Why do I bring this story up? Let me connect the dots. In the same way, we don't understand, and that's why I titled this one, What Fathers Don't Understand, what fathers may not understand. We may not understand what's making our children do what they do. We may not understand what's going through our children's mind. We may not understand what's causing this distancing. But what I do know, and what I do understand, is that I simply sat down at the table and I didn't do anything to him. I didn't offend him. I didn't even speak to him. I was just watching and listening. I didn't do anything to this guy to offend this guy. That much I know, but I don't know what was going on in his heart and in his mind. I don't know what was going on in his life. All I can really know and really understand was what he did and how he did it. And all I can do is perceive and try to interpret, but I don't have the full story. I told you I was going to share with you guys something that my mentor shared with me many years ago. And I'm going to share it right now. Mindset coach, mentor. Check this out, guys. I think this is super dope. Super dope. This is from my mindset coach, Josh Guerrero. He says, judgment comes from a lack of understanding. If we truly understood why we did what we did or didn't do what we should have done, or why other people do what they do. Here it is. If we truly understood, there would be nothing left but acceptance and compassion. If we truly understood. So I ask you today, my brother, I ask you today, Dad, fathers, I ask you today, have you been judging the distancing of your children and making it about you? Have you been critical of your relationship with your children as they began to transition into being a teenager and a young adult? Have you been criticizing yourself, being hard on yourself, judging yourself? Have you been critical of yourself and of your version of fatherhood, your version of leadership? If so, I want you to consider that perhaps you don't understand what's making them do what they do. And maybe it has nothing to do with you. I love this idea, this quote. It has grounded me, centered me for years, and I wanted to share it with you. A father out there that may need to hear it, that may need to see it. All right. Let me get back into my studio so I can boom, open that up. All right, guys. That's it for today. I wanted to share my heart, share these stories that I shared, share the quote, and to just let you know, Dad, that your teenager, young adult, it's not about you. They're not they're not rejecting you. They're not trying to distance themselves from you because you're such a bad guy or such a bad father. If you need to improve in some areas, then work on improving in them. If you know there's some things that you need to clean up in terms of who you're being and how you're showing up, then work on them. But if you're getting up every day, doing the very best you can do, and you know that you're loving your children, you're providing for your children, you're present with your children, you're being the best example to your children that you can be, then perhaps, right? This is alive. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who's going to catch it now on the replay 20 years from now. I don't know, right? I don't know the context. I don't understand your context, right? Speaking of understanding and knowing. But what I do know is that this will apply to someone. And may those with ears to hear, man, hear my heart and hear this message. All right. That was it, man. Travell C.W. Lynch, Mr. What? I am the possible. I am the possible universe, man. And yeah, man, as always, just wanted to encourage you, man, to continue to create that better relationship with yourself, man. Right? Keep cultivating a better relationship with yourself, right? Because the better you can relate to yourself, the better you can create for yourself, and most importantly, those around you. So this is really about you relating to you, easing up on yourself, giving yourself some grace, some mercy, right? And evaluating yourself a little better. So love y'all, man. Praying for y'all. I believe in y'all. Listen, as always, I don't want to fail to mention, if you're watching me right now on YouTube and you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you have any comments, drop the comments down below. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, if you have any questions, you can drop those as well, or you can visit me at iamthepossible.com. I am right there. You can see it on the mic, iamthepossible.com. You can drop questions, you can contact me. If you are a brother, a man, a father who's looking for coaching and you need someone in your life, just like I need somebody in my life. I've got mentors, I've got coaches in my life, I've got therapists in my life, I've got leaders, men, trusted voices that have helped me over the years to get to where I am. And if you don't have that established in your life and you would like to look into what coaching with me would look like, I would love to get on a free clarity call with you and discuss the possibilities of that. All right. Yeah, man. But that's it for now. If you've not described or if you've not subscribed to the podcast as well, I am the Possible Podcast. I'm on every platform. Look it up, check it out, subscribe, start tuning in, start locking in with me, man. And I'm going to continue to provide this kind of information as we move forward and as long as God gives me the grace to do so. All right, you guys have an amazing weekend. Salute and peace.